Some big news coming in. Farmers' unions have finally agreed to meet with the government at 3 p.m. 32 farmers' unions are going to be meeting with the government at 3 p.m. Remember earlier, 500, the farmers' unions insisted that at least 500 of those unions who are currently protesting, their leaders must be present there. But government refused the demand. Finally, farmers' unions have agreed, 32 unions have agreed to come forward and hold talks with the government there. Farmers all set to meet with government officials at 3 p.m. Let's cut across to Aishwarya Paliwal joining us. Aishwarya, Rajnath Singh, the Defence Minister, to hold the talks. Where's the meeting going to be held? And how many farmers' unions are going to be present there? What has been the reaction of the farmers with regards to the meeting now that will take place in about 2 hours' time now?
Well, this meeting will take place at Vigyan Bhavan. The time of the meeting is 3 p.m. and from what we understand now, 32 farmer associations will be taking place. In fact, the invitation was also sent to these associations. Though initially the farmers were a little hesitant, they thought out of 500, that's the number of farmer associations which are now taking part in the protest. Out of those, only 32 have been called. But after long discussions, the farmers have now come to this decision. They will be attending this very crucial meeting at 3 p.m. Also, from we understand, this will not be a short duration meeting. It will be a longer meeting where all the differences will be ironed out. The farmers are seeing this as a positive sign. Initially, the government had given them the date of 3rd December, but now they are meeting them on the 1st of December. So farmers believe this is a good thing. And now we'll have to wait and watch what happens in this very crucial meeting. But from the farmers' point of view too, this is a very crucial meeting. Top representatives of the government will now be holding talks with the farmers. Back to you.
Right. Aishwarya, government sources have given feelers that they're not going to roll back the laws. But farmers are adamant that the laws must be quashed and MSP must be guaranteed and written to them. Here, what do you really pick up with regards to the farmers as they get ready to meet with the government officials? Are they ready for negotiation? Is there any room for negotiation? Is the government really willing to amend?
Well, as far as the farm laws are concerned, we have seen the government has given feelers. From what we understand from the government, rolling back of the 3 farm laws is something which is not on the table. But yes, negotiations definitely, that is something which will take place, which is why this meeting is being called. In fact, the Agriculture Minister too, time and again, has pointed out discussions, deliberations cannot happen on the street. They need to happen across the table, which is what will happen at 3 p.m. today. From what we understand, the MSP issue is also something which the farmers talk a lot about. They are worried about the MSP. That's an issue which will be ironed out today. The mandi system, that is also something which the government will talk today. So just keeping the farm laws aside, these 2 issues are also big enough for the farmers. They have been talking about it. These 2 issues will definitely be talked about at length, which is why this meeting is very crucial. It's only after this meeting that the farmers will decide their next course of action.
Aishwarya Paliwal, thank you very much. Reporting from Delhi, many of those friction points. India Today's reporters there on ground getting a sense of what exactly these protests look like and how agitated these farmers are. The situation there seems grim in many of those border areas. Let's quickly cut across though to Narendra Singh Tomar, Agricultural Minister, who speaks on the politics behind the farmers' protests. Let's take a listen.
आज 3 बजे सभी किसानों को बुलाया है। जो किसान यूनियन के नेताओं से पिछले बार बातचीत हुई थी, उन सब लोगों को आमंत्रण भेजा है। आज वो आएंगे तो हम जरूर बातचीत करेंगे। हमने हमेशा कहा है कि सरकार चर्चा के लिए हमेशा तैयार है। आएंगे तो जरूर उनका स्वागत है। डिमांड पर सड़क पे बात थोड़ी होती है। जब टेबल पे चर्चा होगी तो बात करेंगे, क्या करेंगे।
आप शामिल हो रहे हैं बैठक में? शामिल हो रहे हैं ना? हाँ बहुत शामिल हो रहे हैं। तो क्या आप रखेंगे मंगा रखे हुए हैं हमारे पहला जो खेती विरोधी 3 कानून बनाए हुए हैं। एक जो पराली का जुर्माना लगाया है, सजा करिया, एक 2020 बिजली का एक्ट, एक हम कहेंगे कानून बनाओ खेती मतलब फसलें खरीदने का सारे भारत के विच।
Let's quickly cut across to our political affairs editor Rahul Srivastava joining us. Rahul, here, even as we speak, the key huddle at JP Nadda's residence has now finally come to an end. The government officials, those in command have been meeting over the last 24 hours, multiple times. In fact, over the last 2 days, they've met at least 3 to 4 times to discuss what's to be done. They are also not wanting to push the farmers to the brink. That's what it appears here, considering farmers are so agitated that they refuse to clear the borders. Looking at a situation like this where the government is also helpless, seeing the agitating farmers and in numbers that they've come forward, do you think there'll be any room for negotiation or amends to the existing law?
Nabila, negotiation is a must. And yesterday when the Prime Minister spoke at 2 platforms, one was a political speech in the afternoon and the second in the night at the Ghats of the Ganga, he issued a very emotive appeal citing Guru Nanak, the Sikh Guru, that how he was a pro-reform man and that any effort which is pure at heart and pure at intent does reach the ultimate destination, and it is the protests of any motivated protest do not succeed against it. The Prime Minister reached out and it is the government which has already stated that it's ready to talk on all issues. I have spoken to a senior minister who was part of this meeting just 5 minutes back, and what he has said that the government is welcoming the move by the 32 unions of the farmers that they have agreed for the talks. That's the first sign that the farmers are not going to be totally misled but are ready to open channels of communication with the government, one. The second, the government in the meeting has decided that on all the points which are going to be raised by the farmers, the top ministers are going to provide them assurances and allay the fears that they have. The third very important element is that the government is saying that the farmers will be told that the old mechanisms are not going to be dismantled. The farm laws are creating a new platform for farmers to get better remuneration as far as their produce is concerned. And as far as the MSP issue is concerned, one, the government is very clear that making it a statutory part of laws will be detrimental eventually to the interest of the farmers, especially in times which are either there is a glut or there is a distress. And that is why the government says that the government is not dismantling that MSP structure. MSP will stay. The government will introduce greater remuneration as far as the MSP is concerned, and it is up to the states to eventually give out that MSP. But the fact remains that the government is not in a mood to roll back. But what the government says that the farmers and their entities agreeing to talks without any conditions is a welcome sign right now. A lot will depend now at the 3 o'clock meeting.
Absolutely, Rahul. But one can only imagine if the government is really giving freedom to the farmers, if the government through the laws are removing the shackles that bound the farmers for that many years, what's really weighing so heavy on the farmers' minds that this is anti-farmers? If government says that their promise of an MSP on the floor of the house is as good as a word of law, then why are the farmers being so hesitant to actually move forward if this is really progressive? Take us through what are the top demands of the farmers here?
Two questions here, Nabila. One, what is on the mind of the farmers? See, it's a terrible story since 1947. Farmers have had a very rough deal as far as the procurements and the remuneration or the returns for their produce is concerned. Governments have largely announced MSPs, but the MSPs on the ground are not really followed. And farmers historically have been forced to go in for distress sale, and they are denied better returns for their produce. And especially times which are scarce, at that time it is not the farmers but the middlemen who are the real beneficiaries. And that is why there have been piecemeal attempts by governments to address this crisis, but there has been no large reform as far as the post-Green Revolution Indian agriculture is concerned. And in that scenario, the government is of the belief that allowing farmers greater access to the market, introducing more players in the market to get better returns. For example, the government's lessons are drawn from the fact that agriculture in this country is growing at a 1/3 rate compared to the milk production in the country. Now, milk is not produced by large farmers or large cattle holders. Milk is produced by small farmers who have 2 to 3 cattle at times, but they are operating through cooperatives. And most of the milk is taken away in the private sector by private players. and these are big companies like Nestle and others which use that milk. And the growth rate in this sector is 3 times that of agriculture. Poultry has grown better, animal husbandry has grown better, but it is the cereals which have taken a beating because of no clear access as far as private players are concerned, and largely a monopoly procures. But in farmers in Punjab have a different situation. In a state like Bihar, procurement is very low by the government. In Punjab, 90% is procured by the government. So the farmers who have an assured system of MSP as well as procurement are worried that once the new systems comes in, then they will be left to the mechanism of some private players who can be slightly profiteering as far as their conduct is concerned. And that is where I think there is a large degree of lack of communication between the government and the farmers.
Right.
There have been 3 rounds of talks, Nabila, actually. And the last one was on the 14th of October when some farmers' entities had gone in. But the minister was not available. It was only the Secretary of Agriculture who was there. And the farmers were very angry that why is the minister not there part of the discussions? I think the presence of senior ministers of this government today will definitely make a difference as far as the farmer demands are concerned.
Absolutely, Rahul Srivastava. Thank you very much for joining us.
Hi everyone, Preeti Chaudhary here. Hope you like this video. For latest news and analysis, like and subscribe to the India Today YouTube channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated. Thank you for watching.